Why the f are you interviewing H3? What is this? You don't think that that's detrimental to your larger audience, to what he believes?
No, I don't. This initial like fracture between Ethan's audience and Hasan's audience, all of that started because all Ethan wanted Hasan to do was to like moderate his community, who were accusing Ethan and his wife of being like baby killers and accusing them of supporting genocide, which none of that was based in reality.
So them supporting like Israel's actions, that's not based in reality?
What actions did they support specifically? What are you talking about?
Ethan and Gila's continuous stance that Israel's doing nothing wrong?
Okay. This is my issue, okay? Because that's not true.
I think the Ukrainian war is bullshit. I don't know why we're sending money. Like, I really don't.
You came in here and you were talking all this shit in my chat. Oh, you've become so disgusting. I used to look up to you and blah, blah, blah. And then I tell you, like, well, what do you think about Ukraine? You're like, not my problem. Like, how are you calling my
Hutch?
Patrick? Are you there, Patrick?
Good morning, sir. Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Doing well, bub. Actually, maybe not so well. Did not like what I saw opening my phone this morning. I did not watch the HD3 stream yesterday, but a little concerned to see kind of your transformation over the last
$2,500
12 months in this politics insider route. Your roundtable podcast with people who I feel are out of touch, and I know you have kind of a spectrum across what represents modern liberalism in your kind of sphere. But on here, why am I seeing tweets? I'll read one example, you know. I think this was November 2023, briefly after the Hamas attack. What is your stance? Is a genocide happening? I understand you pin them as terrorists. You know, negotiating with terrorists is something you can't really do. What's going on here? What is going on here?
Where are you getting the negotiating with terrorists isn't something? Where did you get that?
I think you just briefly spoke about it on your stream. I'm trying to understand why you have a tweet that says Israel is not trying to murder all Palestinians in Gaza. That's not the point. The death count is sobering and horrific, but intent has to matter. What do you feel Israel is doing in Gaza right now?
Well, the blocking of aid, that's genocide, right? Like that's 100% genocide. That's like where I draw my line. And before that, it was an acknowledgement that war crimes are very likely taking place and that they're not respecting the principle of proportionality when it comes to international law. But I was uncomfortable using the word genocide for a variety of reasons. Now, I want to know how you went from that to like, I'm this ultra Zionist. That like when you type that out, it makes me think like I think I could probably like guess your media diet, your media consumption based on that statement.
What is my media diet and consumption?
I assume that you watch like you watch people like Hasan. Follow people like.
I actually hate Hasan.
No. Oh, okay. Wait? Hold on. What kind of lefty are you? Are you like a Bad Empanada lefty, or are you a Emma Vigeland lefty? What are we?
Why? See, that's the thing. Why are we putting like streamer archetypes into like what represents this? Because I think liberalism.
Because I think
any media talking head represents accurately what real. Not even radical, but what real, true, non-center liberals feel. That's why I feel your content is very out of touch. I see you guys talk about 2028 primary. There's going to be a turnaround, da-da-da-da. Bro, you know, like most people feel like the world's ending and there's no real route forward.
No, I don't think.
You understand that.
No, hold on. This is why I say I think you need therapy. Because when you talk like that, you are massively projecting. Like this idea that most people think that the world is ending, that is a massive projection. Most people are just like, you know, doing their jobs and like going home and like hanging with their family, like that kind of thing.
That's not true, brother. I get maybe you have those luxuries.
No, it is. No.
You're looking.
How old are you? How old are you?
How old do you think I am?
Pretty young. I would guess like 22, 23.
Mm-mm. And I don't want to disclose my age, but younger than 30. Younger than 30. Older than 22.
I mean, younger than 30, that's still pretty young. I mean, yeah.
It is young. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But not 22, older than 25. So
it's pretty common for young people to do stuff like massively project. And then you get older and you realize that there's just like a lot of different people in the world, and not everybody's thinking about the things that you're thinking about. Not everybody looks at the world the way that you do. You know, that's a normal part of growing up. You're projecting that onto me as if those are my views. I understand that not all people see the world the same way that I do. Okay, that's very cut and dry. That makes sense. Well, I mean, you could just clarify what you mean when you say most of the world think. Most people think that the world is ending. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean by that?
You're absolutely right. When I say most of the world, that probably leaves out the vast swath of people that aren't involved in U.S. politics. But I mean, I even think that sentiment extends to Europe, just anywhere. But I mean, what is your path to de-radicalization then? What do you think are the talking points that makes these things even keeled for someone like me who has only progressively seen rights being taken away, a strong shift towards technocratic capitalism, seeing the left move towards the center and real liberalism die? What are your talking points to de-radicalize people that are more in tune to that?
I would point to just historical context. So, you know, like, would you agree with the idea that we have come a long way and progressed in, and I don't even mean just in America, but we have progressed in so many substantive, positive ways since, you know, like 100 years ago. You know, would you rather live now would you rather live like now in the United States or 100 years ago in the United States?
Right. I think there's an idea, right? If you zoom out, if you go from 100 years, let's go 1900 to 2022 or 2025. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yes, there's been a lot of progress, but I think even if you taper in,
that's putting it mildly.
If you shift that. Yeah. Right. But even if you just taper that 40, 50 years, would you not argue that there have been substantial steps back post civil rights movement to where we were before?
Yeah, I think like the era of neoliberalism was a bit of a backslide. Like the fact that, you know, my boomer parents and their parents were spending like a much smaller percentage of their like income on their house, and the fact that so many people are like priced out of housing, that's a big problem in the United States. And so I'm certainly not suggesting that everything has gotten better, but when we compare the circumstances now to, I mean, the period that you keyed in on, you know, World War I, like the fact that we haven't experienced that level of war and destruction since World War I and World War II, that's kind of a big deal. You know, it's not that war went away. It's not that suffering went away, but, you know, World War I, how many people died? 40 million people died or something like, and when we look at like the civil rights movements that have sprung up since then, how far we've come on queer rights, labor rights, women's suffrage, the actual civil rights movement from the 60s. I mean, we've made a lot of progress. And like right now, we're doing a cultural and political pendulum swing to the right. There's no doubt about that. Like the second Trump era, people are saying slurs again, and it's, you know, there's all kinds of they're talking about taking guns away from trans people. It's not tight. I'm going to agree with you on that one. It's pretty not tight right now. However, like,
you go ahead. Sorry.
I'll just finish up. I mean, like, even with the current, you know, 2 steps back moment that we're in right now, we have still progressed so much further than 100 years ago.
And I understand, but I would argue there are even more insidious things going on. You have BlackRock owning the most homes in America.
I don't know if that's true. Hang on a second.
It is true. Yeah.
What percentage? No. I think you're wrong about that. Hold on. What percentage of homes
It's not the most. It's a ridiculous amount. Raising rent. Like, there are more insidious things going on. What is the role that why is our government bought by special interest groups? That is
Blackstone. Blackstone owns 0.06% of the 106 million single family homes in the U.S.
Right. Let's see here, Hutch. Let me use my Google as well.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I use Bing, so.
Okay. And here's the thing, I understand. Yes, I may be wrong that they own the most homes. Da, 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 da. Are you willing to say that this is not a problem? That investment groups, that developing companies, this is a
Mott and Bailey. I'm sorry, I'm being obnoxious.
No,
I'm sorry. No, I just told you like the cost of living is a problem. I already told you that.
Yeah.
I agree. The cost of living is a big problem, and we need to incentivize more development so we can get more inventory so we can drive these prices down. That's true.
But that's not happening. It's happening
in California. It's happening.
Right.
No, it's happening in California. We just passed a massive YIMBY bill in California that will result in a lot more real estate inventory.
Okay, we will see. We'll check back in 4 years. On
how do you feel about the fact that like literally like 90% of people that were globally that were living in extreme poverty, that's been reduced by 90% over the last 100 years. Isn't that kind of crazy?
That is, yes, this is a good thing, but I don't think that you can just say that this progress means that that nothing bad is going to continue happening.
I didn't say. Well, hang on. I didn't say that. Stop. Hang on. I didn't.
You're using this justification of our progress in the past as a way to lessen critique of the momentum.
No. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not like as long as it's legitimate critique, it's fine. But my issue with you guys, and I call you guys black pill lefties, is because you have, through your media consumption, you have cultivated a perspective of the world that, I assume you might think that we live in the worst country that has ever existed on the face of the planet. America,
no.
America is like this really evil country that everything is getting worse. It's all rigged. The system's totally rigged. So there's nothing we can even do to try to change it. Like it's a very bleak, nihilistic kind of outlook. And I think it's really common when you're younger, but I would just encourage you to expand your perspective to include more historical context, because yes, we have backslid on a few issues. That's certainly happening right now. We're in a bit of a critical moment right now in the United States where it could get really, 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 really bad, like so much worse than it is right now. But none of that nullifies or negates the myriad ways that human beings have progressed in really substantive material ways in the last century. We've moved in a really good direction in a lot of different areas.
And that's a very good opinion. So to bring it all back, why the fuck are you interviewing H3? What is this?
Well, technically he's interviewing me. What's your issue? What's your issue with him?
Do you not think that in terms of his point of views, everything he kind of what's shaken down in like the last 2 years, you don't think that that's detrimental to your larger audience, to what he believes?
No, I don't. No. Oh, in fact, I actually, would you actually just tell me who you watch? I just want to know.
Yeah, content-wise, actually the last kind of 2 years, you talking about like political content?
Yeah, come on, be honest with me. Who do you follow on Twitter? Who do you trust? Like, who are you
being so serious? I really have tried to get away from all political topics. Come on,
tell me the truth. Come on, tell me the truth.
So serious because it poisons the well. It's so bad to watch. Even someone like yourself, who I think like projects more of an even keel database, bro.
Who did you watch?
I stopped watching your streams.
Who did you watch?
Oh, I guess at the height of 2020, bro.
Come on, just say it. It's okay. You can say it. It's okay.
Honestly, nobody.
It's okay. You can tell the truth. Come on.
No, bro. My roommate in 2019 was a fucking Republican, so I tried not to watch his fucking TV because I went to school in a red state. So it's like, bro, I don't think it's really insane to say that I don't spend hours of my day watching political commentary.
All right, if you don't want to tell me, it's fine. I think that people are really profoundly influenced by the people that they go to for news. And
that's totally fair.
And I can watch anyone. Okay, but I feel like I make a pretty good guess of like some of the cast of characters that you. Again, people like Hasan Piker, people like Emma Vigland, maybe Vosh, maybe Bad Empanada, maybe Mike from PA, maybe Sean DeBlack and Frogan, like the maybe Kyle Kalinske, right? Maybe Crystal Ball,
I think you can actually pull up my Twitch account and you can maybe find messages of me talking shit to Hasan back whenever he was fucking blowing up. Bro, I was very anti.
What's your issue with Hasan?
I just don't like Hasan, bro.
Why? Hold on.
I think it's just I feel his content is a little more on the performative side. I generally don't like streamers with large audiences. I feel like it takes away of the credibility and how genuine they can be. I don't think that these are like.
You should love me then. We have a modest size stream.
Bro, when you first came back to streaming, I was so hype, and then I saw you started dumping political content. Like, it's like, bro, really?
Listen, to be honest with you, I've cared about politics more than video games the whole time. Like, I wasn't really I wasn't really happy doing video games for many years. And here, hold on. Let me try to so with respect to Ethan. Here's what I think happened, okay? I think that October 7th was a really radicalizing event for a lot of young left-leaning people. And that makes sense. It was what happened after October 7th, what Palestinians have been forced to endure. Like, they need people advocating for them. And anybody with a conscience and a heart would look at what they're experiencing right now and feel like a sense of horror for what we're witnessing, okay? All that is valid, but I think that what's been happening in Israel has been really radicalizing in the worst possible ways. And I think the Ethan situation is like a perfect example of what I'm talking about, because this initial like fracture between Ethan's audience and Hasan's audience, all of that started because all Ethan wanted Hasan to do was to like moderate his community, who were accusing Ethan and his wife of being like baby killers and accusing them of supporting genocide, which none of that was based in reality. None of that.
So them supporting like Israel's actions, that's not based in reality?
What actions did they support specifically? What are you talking about?
You're talking about like Ethan and Gila's continuous stance that Israel's doing nothing wrong?
Okay. This is my issue, okay? Because that's not true.
That they're justified in what they're doing.
No.
I think
what you're saying is just simply not true. Like this idea that they've been throwing full-throated support at Israel this whole time is just not true.
I didn't say full-throated support.
What support did they even just regular support did they throw to Israel? The whole time they've been saying that Netanyahu is like a war criminal. They've been saying that what Israel has been doing in Gaza has been completely unjustified. They've been talking about how Gaza deserves, like Palestinians deserve their own state. They deserve to be free.
I think that's false.
It's not. I promise you. This is why, and you don't want to tell me who you watch for media. That's fine. You say it's nobody. Okay. But I really want you to deep dive into what Ethan and Hila have actually said about this conflict, because they are not broadly Israel supporters. They're just not. These people should have been your ally, and you guys just... You chase them out.
I do not think that's true at all, because they've said some very disgusting racist things over the last 2 years about specifically Palestinians.
Can I get an example?
Eastern community.
Please,
bro. Would you like me to come back in like 30 minutes and collect my fucking Twitch clips? I'm so confused.
I've seen all the same clips that you have. So
then how are we arriving at different opinions? Because you sound like an apologist in this scenario.
I don't know what you think I'm apologizing for. Or you what do you mean?
Defending their very staunch pro-Israel
stance. Hold on. This is what they've said.
You're telling me that H3 is not pro-Israel.
You understand that H3 called it a genocide like within a couple months? Do you understand that? Do you understand that do you understand? I mean, that's like way faster than I ever used that word. Do you understand that like H3 has talked about how Palestinians deserve to be free from occupation? They deserve to have their own state, and they deserve to.
I've also seen them say. And I know that this is not false. They have also said things that contradict those statements that you just said as well.
I really doubt that that's true. I'm very up to date on all. I'm so online. I'm so up to date on all that lore.
I don't think it'll take me long to find some clips. I really don't.
That
like I'm sitting at my computer. I'm on Discord with you, but I don't think it would take me long to find clips at all.
How do you make sense? Like, listen to me. How do you make sense out of the idea that Ethan was calling this thing a genocide and that he wants Palestinians to be free from occupation? Like, how do you square that with him being like super pro-Israel?
I think as long as he self-identifies as a Zionist, which he does, then that's all.
I don't think I've never heard him call himself a Zionist, by the way.
I've literally have seen him call himself a Zionist. Why are people?
No, that's not true.
You've seen this dude cry over this bullshit.
I've never seen him call himself a Zionist.
That's so okay. So
what do you think a Zionist is? What's your definition of a Zionist?
I think I like Adam Friedland. Bro, you asked me to watch. I watch Come Town, fucking Adam Friedland. Yeah. That's political, right?
Okay, all right.
That's someone who I really liked.
We're getting to it.
Adam Friedland's definition of Zionism, that Israel is not. Zionism exists to give Israelis a safe place to live, and by definition, Israel is not a safe place to live. So Zionists should not be.
That's not really a definition. That's not really a definition.
That a Zionist is someone who believes a state for Israelis should exist.
Say for Jewish people. Stay for Jewish people. Is that what he said?
Right.
Is that what he said?
Right. Jewish people.
How do you feel about the fact that How do you feel about the fact that the Come Town? How do you feel about the fact that like Adam Friedland literally just like laughed at the Ukrainian war and said, "Not my problem."
I think the Ukrainian war is bullshit. I don't know why we're sending money. Like, I really don't.
Okay, you're telling me that you're a pro-Palestinian advocate because you don't like the amount of suffering.
We were trying to.
Hold on. Let me ask a question.
Has every
Let me ask a question. Okay, like you tell me that you don't you watch what's happening in Gaza right now, and you
are you equating that Russia and Ukraine's relationship is mirrors that of Israel and Gaza's?
You know that more people have died in the Ukrainian war than in Gaza.
Yeah, and what do the casualties look like on both sides? What is the share?
Well, the State Department under Biden estimated 130,000 Ukrainian casualties, but that was like a year and a half ago. So I don't even know. I have no idea what that number.
How many Russian casualties?
That much more, hundreds of thousands, like multiple hundreds of thousands. But if we just want to focus on Ukraine, who are being invaded,
that's happening and the fact that we're calling Israel Gaza a war, it's not a war. But does that mirror the dynamic that's happening in
No, it doesn't. Gaza? No, I'm not saying it's a perfect reflection, but I'm saying if you are over here talking about Israel, Palestine, which I think you should be, but you have no real opinion about what Ukrainians are being forced to suffer through right now. No, you just said it was bullshit. I don't even know what that means. How is it bullshit? They're being invaded.
Right. My opinion is that
you don't care that they're being invaded? You don't like that? That doesn't bother you?
Now we're talking about NATO. Now we're talking about like the.
Why are we talking? Wait, why are we talking about NATO?
We're talking about the military-industrial. You're telling me that Ukraine's relationship with NATO has nothing to do with why Russia is pushing this annexation that they've been since 2000.
I'm not telling you that. That's what Vladimir Putin told you. He had a conversation with Tucker Carlson. And he spoke at length about how Russia had historical rights to Ukraine. He wasn't talking about NATO.
Right, but I'm talking about NATO. So I understand that.
What's the threat of NATO? What's the threat of NATO to Russia?
Is NATO Russia's ally?
No, I'm asking you, what is the actual threat from NATO?
I'm asking you, is NATO's Russia out? I'm answering your question.
No, of course not. No, but like,
there you go.
No, hang on. But you need to describe the threat. What is the threat of NATO? What is NATO going to do unprovoked?
I don't think that any country
has NATO ever invaded a sovereign country. Has NATO ever unprovoked?
It's a loaded word when it comes to military
have NATO?
Unprovoked is a loaded word when it comes.
What do you mean it's loaded? What do you mean,
brother?
What is your concern about NATO? Like, what do you think they're going to do?
Not my concern in terms of like what they're going to do to Russia.
What's Putin's concern? What's Putin's concern?
Are they allies?
That's not a big. You need to get into more detail than that.
Like, what a tactical advantage?
What does Putin advantage for
NATO having Ukraine over Russia having Ukraine? I think that's all you have to ask yourself.
The tactical advantage is that if Vladimir Putin wants to invade and try to annex a NATO ally, then the rest of the NATO partners will jump in to make sure that that doesn't happen. It's a defensive treaty. You understand that?
And so I think there's two perspectives that way. You can either say what NATO is doing in Ukraine is de-escalation or escalation.
What is NATO doing in Ukraine right now? They're not doing anything right now.
Were they not trying to get the Ukraine to sign whatever treaty and join the NATO pact?
That's never been on the table, to be honest with you. No, Ukraine, like I would love to see Ukraine in NATO. That would be great, in my opinion.
And that's kind of the whole gamut of it, is because Ukraine's even fucking split on itself and joining NATO. I mean, that's a whole fucking conversation too.
I don't even think that's true. I think the overwhelming majority of people in Ukraine want to join NATO. I don't know where you're getting this idea.
No, okay, here we go.
Is it? Wait, why are you running cover for fucking Vladimir Putin? Like this guy? Yes, you are.
The guy's a good guy.
You literally are. You're saying that he is. You're saying that he's justified in invading Ukraine because of.
Justified. I'm just saying you.
So if you don't think it's justified, why don't you care? This is a country that's being invaded, and over 100,000 people have been killed. How are your morals consistent at all?
Bro, because I don't think that we should be sending money to these fucking conflicts regardless, whether it be. And here's the thing.
Would you be in favor of us sending? Would you be in favor of us sending money and arms to like Gaza for them to defend themselves?
But and here we go. That's not a war. And that's the. And here's the thing. If we sent money and arms to Gaza,
I mean, would you be in favor of that?
Sending money and arms to Israel.
Would you be? But would you? Would you?
That's straight.
Yeah, but would you be in favor? I'm asking you a hypothetical. Would you be in favor of that?
No, because it's not a war. And no, I don't. And here's the thing.
You would not be in favor of sending arms and money to Gaza so they could defend themselves against Israel?
No, because I think that their relationship, how it stands now, I don't think you could send them any amount of money and arms and they would come out on top on that.
Listen, like you came in here and you were talking all this fucking shit in my chat. Oh, you become so disgusting. I used to look up to you and blah, blah, blah. And then I tell you, like, well, what do you think about Ukraine? You're like, not my problem. Like, how are you calling my
Hutch?
It's not.
So it's our problem because people are down.
Then why is Gaza our problem? Then why is Gaza our problem then?
Because AIPAC owns 94% of the House of Representatives.
What does that have to do with Gaza?
Because our fucking entire foreign policy is centered around Israel. That's why it's important.
That's our. But why? You're not even really answering the question. What does AIPAC have to do with this?
Why does AIPAC have funds in the campaign pockets over?
Why is Gaza your problem but Ukraine isn't?
Because one is a fucking genocide and one is a war. That's that simple.
So because you use the word genocide, because you use the word genocide, this means that I just shouldn't care that like well over 100,000 Ukrainians have been killed in a fucking violent invasion.
There's a difference between saying you should.
Sounds about white. Not my problem. Right? That's what Adam Friedland said, right?
Sending billions and billions and billions of dollars to Ukraine. There's a
who are defending themselves against a belligerent neighbor that is invading them violently.
Invading them violently?
What do you? Why are you laughing at that?
Israel. What do you think is going on in Israel? What do you think is going on in Israel and Gaza?
I'm not inconsistent about this, bro. I think what Israel is doing is a fucking atrocity.
You just told me you don't hate Israel. You hate your fucking whatever. You need therapy.
You need therapy. Yes, you do.
Because I am a critic of Israel.
No, because you're coming in because you have obviously been radicalized by your online media consumption. That's what's happening here. To the point where you're now. You see, yes, this is how this works. Whatever your media consumption diet like led you to this point where you're like, not my problem. Ukraine shouldn't have joined NATO.
Yeah, dead ass.
All right, listen.
Dead ass.
I'm gonna
that I'm anti-military industrial complex. I think that's pretty.
You're pro. You're pro Russia expansion. You're pro Russia expansion.
I'm saying.
Yeah, you are, bro. You said you justified it with NATO.
When third graders can't read, brother. I'm saying why
you justified. You justified it. You justified Putin's invasion. But with the NATO thing.
No, you asked me why. That's not justification. Justification would be me saying what they're doing is right because.
Why did you bring up NATO? What was the point of bringing up NATO?
Because you asked me why I think Russia is pushing in, and that's why I said I think Russia's pushing in for this.
Do you think they have legit concerns? Do you think they have? Do you think they have valid concerns about NATO?
I don't think that there's ever any valid concern to kill over 130,000 people. Like,
well, that's what they're doing though, and you like Adam Friedland said he didn't care about that. They took a fun. They wrapped themselves in a Ukrainian flag in a mocking post online, and then they want to appear all virtuous and moral when he's having that conversation with Richie Torres. No, fuck that.
Because
that's
the
utter bullshit.
Why are we sending money there, and we're also sending missiles to Israel? Why are we designating Ukrainians as victims? And then designating Gaza.
You don't get to moralize about. You don't get to moralize about Gaza when you mock what's happening in Ukraine. Brother. No, you don't. No, you absolutely can't.
One is a war and one is a genocide. That's what you're missing.
All right, I'm gonna keep working on you. We're gonna end this conversation, but I invite you to come back.
I appreciate you having me on. No, seriously, I appreciate you taking your time to talk to me.
Thanks for coming on. Look, I'm gonna turn you into a based normal liberal. It's gonna happen over time. I'm gonna de-radicalize you. It's gonna happen slowly over time. I'm gonna like a gentleman. I'm gonna ease it in. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. Yeah, we'll talk another time. I appreciate it.
No, thank you, Hutch. You have a good day.
Bye bye.